Okay, so we're joined by Josh Wright after Eastleigh 2, Ebbsfleet 0. Josh, just your thoughts on that game this evening?
Be brutally honest, it's not so much we've let Eastleigh get away with one, but we've made it too easy for them. You can't legislate for conceding 2 goals like that. They're 2 of the softest goals that you will see in professional football. That's what disappoints me more than anything, because I think there were moments tonight, there were openings tonight, opportunities, territory, and moments in terms of where we grew into it. We grew into it, and we had probably the 10-15 minutes just before half time showed what we can do, and it's a decision of the final ball or the type of run that you're going to make, that type of stuff. And I even think second half, I think they're about to make a double change and we give away a second goal as we do, and it hurts because it's everything you work on and everything you talk about, and then you just allow a team to have a 2-goal lead just like that. And we all know what it's like at a 1-goal lead and what 1 goal can do with putting pressure and the equaliser. So I'm frustrated because I think we've let them off the hook tonight. I don't think they've had to really carve us open, or they certainly haven't had to carve us open, and a passage of play that's really hurt us. It's 2 terrible goals, and that's the most frustrating thing. And boys can own it, boys can wear it and take responsibility, but ultimately it's not enough. And I've just said to them in there that we've come away from being so resolute and so strong and so disciplined, and clean sheets and low goals against tallies at ones. You've always got a chance of getting at least a point, if not 3 points out of it. And that's the most frustrating thing tonight, is there were moments in that game where we really grew into it and played some really good stuff and got into some great areas, but we've conceded 2 of the poorest goals you'll see.
And we noticed Franklin Domi playing a much higher position, as well as Dom Samuel playing a bit deeper, especially in the first half. Is that something that we can expect more going forwards from Franklin and Dom, or is that something you tried out tonight?
No, Franklin's played that role for me quite a few times in recent weeks. It was just Dom that was up top today rather than Aaron or Kwame. I thought Dom was really good on Saturday, and he had some moments tonight where he showed some class as well. So I had Georgie and Frank sort of just in behind Dom, and Dom was that central one, but Dom does like to drop in and try and give the overload and get on the ball. And but Frank plays that role well, and I thought after the first sort of 25-30 minutes he grew into that as well, because I was looking at possibly doing something at half time, me and my assistant, but I thought we grew into it the last 10-15 minutes of the first half, and we started to really get a foothold in the game. And there was just the early one from Chapo with the ball across Frank. I think Frank can get across his man, and obviously the other main one was George at the end when we break through. It was a lovely passage of play towards the end of the first half, and he just overhits it slightly to Frank, but again Frank was in the right area. On another day, that's a great opportunity to get to equalise.
And we saw the return of Lewis Page tonight after a few weeks on the sidelines for him. How important will it be to start getting players like Lewis back as we enter in the remaining 10 games of the season?
Page is a really experienced player, and he's had a tough time with injuries this season. But he's obviously a left-footed player. He can defend very well, but he can also go forward. So Pagey could be a big player for us. We've had to manage him. We've had to manage him in terms of not rushing him back and giving him the right minutes, because we don't want him to break down again. So it was nice to have Pagey available tonight again, and obviously to get him the half hour at the end.
And we are seeing a much more settled side. You've not made as many changes in your starting 11 and your squad as a whole. Is that something that will be continued, or could we see a little bit more rotation in the remaining 10 games?
Listen, performances, results, they dictate those things, injuries and fatigue. I just feel, obviously, I know the last 3 results have been difficult and have been tough ones, but we was on the right track. We was on the right track in terms of performances, and the results were coming. Obviously, more with the draws, but we were very unfortunate not for some of them draws to turn into 3 points. And I thought we found a way in terms of a shape, a formation, and a style, but also with personnel. And if that personnel are doing well and it's a settled side, it's good to stick with it. But obviously I've made 1 or 2 changes over the last so many games, and I'll rotate when I need to, and I will pick the team that I feel will get the positive result.
And we have a quick turnaround for another away trip on Saturday as we travel to Solihull. How will you look to prepare as we enter the final stages of the season with another long trip?
Yeah, look, it's part and parcel of any football, but especially this league. We have to regroup, we have to recover right, we have to work right, and that's the beauty of football, that there's always another opportunity, there's always another game that's just around the corner. And listen, it'll be another tough one on Saturday. In terms of our mindset and our belief, that's where I think is I keep saying these words, is the big issue. I think if this is, on the back or during a season where we hadn't suffered so much as we have, that's the type of game that we come here and get a result tonight. But because of that belief and because of the feeling that goes through the camp and through the place, which we've done so much to try and change, which we have so much, it's that little vulnerable side of us that comes out quite often, and we have to try in the last 10 games. I've set them a target tonight before the game in terms of a points tally that I want to try and get out of it, and that's still on. We have to still keep pushing for that. But look, it's another tough game like they all are, and we have to regroup and focus now onto that. Look back at this, debrief this where we can, and look ahead to all Solihull.
And finally, Josh, just to mention on the 45 travelling supporters that have made the trip down to Eastleigh this evening, they were immense tonight.
As always, and they keep coming out of their numbers. I said it upstairs on Saturday before the game, and I say it every opportunity I can, behind the scenes and in front of people. It's impeccable and immense how they keep sticking with us, and it means so much to me as a manager, but my staff and my players, that they keep digging in and they keep coming, and I just wish we could repay them in better ways with a better points tally for sure, but with more positive results. But we will continuously keep trying to change that and keep working hard, and one thing for sure is it doesn't go unnoticed, and I can always show my gratitude and thanks to the Ebbsfleet fans, because as I've always said, they're a fantastic set of fans, the best I've ever worked and played under, and at the right time, in the right time, they will certainly get the rewards, and the place will be a much happier place and a lot more celebrating, that's for sure.
Well, thank you, Josh, for talking to us to see you Saturday.
Thank you.